I want to thank all the volunteers and all the people that support Christian legal aid. The, the support you give is so needed and so life-changing for so many people. And for sure, I know that firsthand. I want to thank God for the grace and the mercy that I've been given. Sometimes in life, as you're traveling your road of life, you ask, or I ask the question so many times, why? I'd say, God, what's going on? What's happening? Because I knew in here, I knew that there was something different. But just walking through life's road and moments, I had to find a way to get to that something different. And being Christian legal aid is a part of that for many, many people, to be able to unravel some of life's events and to get to what is happening in here. So I was born not far from here in what was the projects, a place called Aliso Village, right over the bridge, the First Street Bridge. And I remember my mother and my 5 brothers, we would walk over that bridge to Clifton's. Once a month we would do, and Clifton's was a place to go. It had such an array of food. And that was a happy day for me and my 5 brothers. And it was a good walk. We don't walk like that anymore. Our kids don't walk like that anymore, let's say. The world has changed some. But there were other days in my childhood that weren't so happy. They were very troubling for a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old. I can't remember exactly what the age was, but I know it was a troubling day. When my mother would pick up my auntie and she would drive her to Camarillo State Hospital, and she would pick up her boyfriend. And Camarillo State Hospital had 22 palm trees from where you turned into the lane, and then there's a long lane before you get to the hospital. And I would be in the back seat trying to evaporate into the upholstery, because I knew when I got to tree 22, that man was going to walk out of that hospital. And he was going to do something to me that I couldn't understand, didn't know how to describe, but I knew that it was wrong. And those types of events laced my childhood, my young adulthood and teenage years. And I managed to navigate and survive them with my mind and my heart intact. Up until that fatal day when my 5-year-old son, when I lost him. I was able to survive then because perhaps it was the early songs in church. When we would live in Aliso Village, we traveled to the church, and there was this song that would be sing a song, and it would go, we are soldiers in the army. We have to fight, although we have to die. We have to hold up the blood-stained banner. We have to hold it up until we die. And I couldn't, I'm like, a little girl, I'm like, what are they talking about, the blood-stained banner? But that was one of the songs that would go through my mind as I was navigating life. The day my son passed, I just couldn't bear the grief. The body had held all the pain, disappointment of a lifetime, too much for one lifetime, but nevertheless, it bared it. But that loss tipped me. I began to drink alcoholically, still asking God what's going on. But I think during that time I got a little angry, about the loss and wanted to know the why of it. And my alcoholism escalated to drug use. I went to prison 6 times after that in a 20-year period. Still asking why, but still knowing something different is in here. And how do I find it? After all those prison sentences, I found safety, I think, for the first time in my life. What I know, it was safety that I recognized for the first time in my life. And that was October 4th of 1997, when I landed in a treatment center on the beach of Santa Monica. And the wealth of that community was astounding to me. They had like a buffet of social services like I had never ever imagined existed. And I indulged to the fullest. And I know Christian Legal Aid Services moves around to communities, to bring services that people can indulge in. And I went to therapy, I went to the dentist, I went to, 12-step meetings, I went to art shows, I went to concerts, people invited me to their house, and by the time I got to Santa Monica, wasn't anybody inviting me anywhere. My life just turned around. And I thought about all the other women just like me who had struggled through life, through adverse experience, childhood, domestic violence, whatever it might be, that were getting off the bus right down the street here, coming back from prison, ill-prepared to start life over again. And so I worked and I got this little house, and that birthed a new way of life. And it made sense to me, the why of the journey at that point. The journey had equipped me to help other people, to alleviate the pain and the suffering. But sometimes I'm saying, like, why did it have to happen that long? But whatever. Couldn't I got it sooner? But we get it when we get it. And how we show up when we get it, is the payment, I feel like, for me, back for my salvation, my grace, my mercy, my blessings. How do we multiply these blessings that we get as humans in this world? And for me, it was going back and helping people, helping women to come back into the community. So what happened in my little house, little bungalow in Watts, where I would, get up in the morning and go down to the bus station, and as the women were walking, as my friends, not the women, but my friends, were walking off the bus, I'd be like, hey girl, I got a house, come on over. And what God did for me, what God did through me, was multiplied. And to date, over 1,000 women have been through the home. and over 300 children. I've had the opportunity to help moms get their children back and provide a safe start and a safe beginning for their child. Help her to avoid some of the hazards and be able to recognize some of the traps of life, and help her to become strong and learn advocacy skills and leadership skills, and be able to decipher, just because she's safe and able to take in information and learn and be. Just be. That's, I think, what we all want to do is just be and do. So I feel so blessed, really blessed. And one of my board members, Tammy Warren, came out today, and I want to say thank you, Tammy. Her best friend, Dujay, am I saying it right? Dujay, who does yoga classes with the women every Friday. They organize a team of teachers, and they come and give like that. And we all have somewhere that we can deposit our gifts to multiply the good in the world. I was asked a question at the table this morning that said, what mechanism will be used to turn this whole thing around? And Christian Legal Services has a buffet of legal services. That's a buffet of legal services. We have a legal clinic at A New Way of Life also. But we have one service, that's expungement. Y'all got a buffet. For wills, for family, for I think it was 5 different things up there that you do. That's impressive. That's really impressive. So we do whatever we can do and bring to our table, to life, to alleviate and make the pain and suffering. But the question was asked, how are we going to get here? How are we going to turn it around? What mechanism will it be? It will be places like Christian Legal Services. It won't be our government. That's my opinion. I just need to say that's my opinion. It will be the children of God. It will be the we. It will be us. We will be the change makers. We will be the ones that take our communities, our country, our world, I believe, to a better and more just place. This year, after my book came out, the book did really well. I'm like, oh yeah. Now we can talk about women in mass incarceration. Now we can put women in the conversation, because when we talk about mass incarceration and we talk about the state of incarceration, we mainly focus on men. But women are the largest growing population of the prison system. So I'm like, we can talk about women now. But the book did well, it took off, and I got to thinking about all the women across this nation languishing in prisons, languishing in jails with no hope, stripped of dignity, stripped of individuality, stripped of meaning and purpose. And I printed 11,000 copies of the book in paperback form. And this year, I've traveled to 25 states, 65 prisons or jails or youth camps, and I've sat down with the women who are being held there and did book readings and book signings and let them know that they have to fight for the right to be the best person that they can be. And let them know that we, the people, are waiting on them, to encourage them, to support them, and to motivate them. But they have to be the ones that do the work. But we are waiting to support them. And it's just been a phenomenal year. I think the book is a tool for change for those women. So I did some of what I can do. There's more to do to make it possible for them. You know, I believe that what we've done in this country, you know, is around the mass incarceration of people, is time to turn it around. And I think that we as community members are woke. We're no longer, you know, taking in the hype. We're understanding there's different approaches, more compassionate approaches, more useful approaches of not only of people's energy, but of our resources. And that, you know, we are ready. I want to read to you this scripture. And then I think my time might be pretty close here. But I'm just, you know, thrilled. I've been here, I came here, and I for a conference once, and I was just amazed at the building and the size, and I watched it on TV. I never thought I'd be invited to talk here. So it's just like, I'm just thrilled and amazed. And again, I want to thank all the volunteers, all the supporters, all of you here this morning who have taken your time to come and just pray and have a word and a meal and a time here. So I was in Arkansas visiting a prison. Wrightsville is the name of the prison. And one of the women there gave me the scripture. I had sent my book prior to me going there. And she gave me the scripture. It's Isaiah 58:9 through 12. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing of finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves on behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness. Your night will become like noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land, the desert. He will satisfy your needs in the sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will rise up the age-old foundations, and you will be called the repairer of broken walls, the restorer of street dwellings. Thank you so much.